Hey guys, it's Christina Marie, and today I am here to talk about whether you should get an indoor cabin or a balcony, also known as a veranda room, on Holland America cruise lines. So I have a couple of questions that you can ask yourself to help you decide which type of room is best for you. To get straight to the point, my recommendation is to book a balcony room or a veranda room. It is just so much nicer. You're on vacation, you're spending the money. I would recommend splurging a little bit and get the balcony room just because it is way better. But the indoor cabin may be the better choice for you. So here are a couple of reasons why you might want to choose the indoor cabin or inside stateroom on Holland America cruise ships, and then I'll go through the benefits of getting the balcony room or the veranda room on Holland America cruise ships. So one reason to get an indoor cabin on Holland America cruise ships is if you are traveling solo. So if you're traveling solo, you usually pay pretty much for the room. Doesn't matter whether you have one person or two people traveling. So if you're traveling solo, it can get kind of expensive. You're basically paying double the amount for a trip. So in that case, you might want to get an indoor cabin. Also, if you're traveling solo, having the indoor cabin might encourage you to get out of the room and meet other people. So that might be a good thing. It also might be bad if you like having time to yourself. Having an indoor cabin would be a bummer, but usually if you're traveling by yourself, having to foot the entire bill, you might want to get an indoor cabin. The second reason why you might want an indoor cabin on Holland America cruise ships is if you literally only intend to be in the room to sleep. So if you like staying up late, going to the casino, going out dancing, always like to be doing stuff, then you might like an indoor cabin. If it is a very short cruise, like only 3 days, then go ahead and get the indoor cabin. That's not a very long cruise, so that might be a reason to get an indoor cabin. If you want to save money, so I usually think of an indoor cabin as like spring break in college. So that's when I did an indoor cabin, but I'm assuming most of you on Holland America probably aren't in college. But if you are, that's a reason to book an indoor cabin. And then last reason is if you don't really care to see where you're going. So most Holland America cruises go somewhere where there's lots to see outside of your room. But if it's like the Caribbean and you've been to the Caribbean 10 times, don't really care to see the view too much from your room, you can always just walk around the deck. That might be a reason to get an indoor cabin on Holland America cruise ships. Okay, now let's move on to all the reasons to get a balcony room or a veranda room on Holland America cruise ships. As I mentioned earlier, I highly recommend getting a balcony room. Personally, my mom and I always book a balcony room where you can open up the doors. We had an indoor cabin once with a window, and after that we were like, no, we're always going to pay extra and get the balcony. Here are the reasons why getting a balcony is just so much better in my opinion. First off is you can get fresh air. So the good thing about going on a Holland America cruise is you're in the ocean, and fresh air in your room is just so nice. Also, kind of to be a little bit of a downer, but should you ever get sick and get confined to your stateroom, or should there be a lot of people sick on the cruise, having a room where you can open the window, open the balcony door and get fresh air is really nice. So ages ago when I was traveling with my dad and my mom in Asia, so like Vietnam, China, Thailand, there was a stomach bug going around and I was sick in the room, and then my dad was sick. So it was really nice having a balcony door where we can open the room in case somebody gets sick, especially if you're traveling with other people. Another example is my mom was on one of the really, really old Holland America ships, and similar thing, people were sick. It was an older cruise ship, the nicer ones, don't worry, but the ventilation wasn't the best, and she was in an indoor room, and she was honestly really concerned because you're sharing air with your fellow cruise travelers who are all sick. So just for your health, I suppose, having a balcony or a veranda room, just in case, just for the worst, is way, way better. Another reason to get a balcony room is if you are on a cruise with a lot of sea days. So usually if you're in port, you're out doing stuff, but on sea days on Holland America cruise ships, there's not a lot to do. And on those days, it's really, really nice to sit on your balcony, enjoy your coffee. You could bring your lunch back to the room. You could have breakfast in the room. My mom and I personally sit on the balcony and talk a lot. So if you are on a cruise with a lot of sea days, I would recommend getting a balcony or a veranda room. Also, if you're on a long cruise, so like a 7-week cruise, I would recommend getting the balcony or the veranda room on Holland America cruise ships. And lastly, if you're going somewhere scenic, go ahead and get the balcony room. So I know a lot of people love Alaska cruises. So yes, you can see the glaciers from the promenade deck where you walk around, but it's a lot nicer when you can just go onto your balcony and look out and see the view. Similarly, if you're on a Holland America cruise, that's basically going anywhere except the Caribbean. So if you're going to Europe, to Asia, I will say Australia and New Zealand, those views were amazing. Go ahead and get the balcony or the veranda room on Holland America cruise ships. So in summary, if you are deciding, should you get the indoor cabin or should you pay extra and get the veranda or the balcony room? Basically, in all situations, I recommend getting the balcony room or the veranda room on Holland America cruise ships. The only situations to get an indoor cabin, in my opinion, is if you are traveling solo, or if you are on a very, very short cruise, or if you intend to basically never ever be in the room. I will say I'm a get up and go person. I'm rarely in the room, but on Holland America cruise ships, even if it's just for an hour in the afternoon, I personally really enjoy being in the rooms with a balcony, with the door open, with the blinds open. It's just bright and airy and so much more relaxing. Lastly, if you're debating, the cruise ship rooms are small and the veranda or balcony rooms are bigger. They do have like a little couch on Holland America cruise ships where you can sit down. They're just a little bit more spacious and open and airy. So if you can't decide, basically I'm telling you, go ahead and pay the extra money, get the balcony, get the veranda room. You're paying for the cruise, you're going on vacation. This is not a place to splurge, in my opinion. And I am a person that can be kind of, what's the word? Not stingy, but don't like to spend money. But I will spend money on that balcony or veranda room. If you have any questions about Holland America, leave a comment below. Please subscribe and let me know what you think of the indoor cabins. Maybe you personally don't mind them. I'd love to hear what you think. Thanks, guys.